Alright, so this, I don't even know what this fucking YouTube video is, okay? It's just someone playing Prince of Persia on DOS. It's just some random person playing Prince of Persia on DOS. I don't know who this is. But this is Prince of Persia, right? This is a DOS game I had since I was a super little kid. This is actually the first video game I ever played, I'm pretty sure. It was either this or like Myst. Okay, we were early adopters of PCs. And I played this game since I was like 3 or 4. I was like playing it super young. 1990, Jordan Mechner. So I want to make a game. And I'm not going to talk about the plot yet, although I do have a plot set up. But I want to make a game like this. I want to make a game where there's a few levels. There's like platforming with like jumping around and grabbing on ledges and like doing parkour shit. And there's sword combat. But I want to make the sword combat from like a fighting gamer standpoint, you know what I mean? It's only going to be player versus NPC. Um, but I still want it to be quite tactical. I want it to be something that you have to kind of know for a long time to get to understand, you know? Or maybe not like I want it to be I want the game to give you a very piss poor tutorial. I want the game to only tell you what you need to know to technically beat it, but then I want the player to be able to infer other things that they're able to do based on what they know, what they're actually told how to do. Um, I haven't actually played Nidhogg, but I've seen Nidhogg, and I want combat suggesting that, but I'm not really sure. Cinematic puzzle platform combat simulator. Prince of Persia was actually that. There's going to be a dialogue in my game. There's going to be a few characters. I've got 5 characters so far, and really, I don't think it's going to be more than those 5. The 5 like basically cover all the bases between them. There's going to be the okay. So this is who made this game. Okay, it's a pretty short list, and this is in '89. Okay, if these fucking 8 people can make this game in '89, I feel like I can make something that's like I don't know if it's going to be just me, granted, but I feel like I can do something like this. I can start, I can work, I can design something to this effect, you know? Now, granted, I don't know that much about fucking game design. Well, I know what I observe. I have my own like hobby of game design observation, and it's like if I want to, I've always wanted to take my crack at actually making a game. Let me open my text file really fast. Let me get it not giant on screen. Um, so I have a bunch of things that I want to happen. I want this game to have, okay? I haven't like ironed it out super hard in the combat. I don't know what I really want to do with the combat. I've got a few things. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to spoil the plot, but I have pretty much the major events of the plot. And the plot is about you, an assassin, trying to crash a wedding. Okay? That is the plot. There's a wedding going on. It's a rather influential guy. It's a rather influential girl in a sense, and they're getting they're having a big public wedding at a cathedral, and you, an assassin, sneak in, and you're trying to kill them. Um, and the guy has anticipated an assassination, and he has hired, well, a bunch of groomsmen and fucking bodyguards and fucking all that. Okay, that's the basic premise of the game. I've actually got like like very short storylines with all these characters that explains who their entire relation to each other, but it's not going to be like super complex. It's going to be very straightforward. The game could technically play without words if necessary, and I probably will have an option that'll be like in the options menu, skip dialogue or something to that effect. Um, and the combat's what I'm going to talk about right now because I do play fighting games and I would like something at least interesting for combat. This game has like it's very very simple. In this game, shift to swing your sword, okay, and up is parry. And from a sword swing you can parry, and from a parry you can swing your sword. So basically, um, you just if an enemy ever attacks you, you can parry it and riposte. And if your uh, art style, I want something super minimalistic. I want something pretty much like this. I'd like rotoscoping, so I might find a whole bunch of videos of like saber fencing on YouTube and then rotoscope over them. But that might be really hard. But I don't know. I'll have to see. I don't need that many frames of animation, and I want something super simplistic. Nidhogg art style is actually not too far off from what I'm picturing, but really I'm picturing this game. I'm picturing Prince of Persia. I want something suggesting this. This game has super simplistic graphics. Um, Let me see. What was I saying? Um, I want a few different weapons, but I want the game to. I want only one weapon to be necessary. Okay. I want the game to encourage you to use only one weapon, but there'll be a couple more, and the game will never teach you how to use the other ones. It'll only teach you how to use the one. And if you want to do some research on your own about the other ones, well, I've only got 3 weapons, and even 3 weapons is a bit strong. I've got 2 weapons. I've got sword and dagger. Okay, those are the 2 weapons in my head in the game right now. Okay. And the dagger, I want the sword to be like the combat of this game, like the combat of Nidhogg. I want it to be complex. I don't want it to be as simple as this game is. And uh, the dagger to be, I want the dagger to suffer from the lack of range, but be a lot more efficient if you know how to use it. Okay, so here's the main thing about the combat of the game I want to make. I want it to give you a choice between fighting lethally or not, but I don't want to make it like some kind of like moral high ground, moral low ground kind of thing. I do want some kind of like Easter eggs or like a true ending, depending on. I want the story to branch depending on whether you kill or don't kill. Um, but I mean, yeah, it seems really simple, right? Rotoscoping, if you're doing it in a very basic way like this. Um, I want the dagger to basically be a locked on like a lethal weapon. Like there's no way to use a dagger in a non-lethal way. And if there's a sword, well, there will be a sword. I want something like either there's a sword with no blade outright, or you can turn the sword around and use the blunted end. And even if you don't use the blunt, even if you use the sharp end, I want you to be able to go for like non-lethal kills by like attacking limbs or something like that. It's like something to like to knock people out, something to defeat people without killing them. Um, but one thing I want is I want the protag to have never used a sword before the game takes place. The protag will start with a dagger, but I want you to get a sword like fairly early on in the game, and you to be taught like, oh, so you've never used a sword before, um, and then you get like the training on the sword, and of course the player's never used a sword before. For the record, it'll probably be like a skippable thing. And I want the game to, I want the game to start with a fight where you just can't win. And uh, I want the combat to not, I want the combat to have a way that you can be really bad at it, that people will probably like instinctively fall on, and then a way you can easily make yourself way better. So the way I was thinking about the way this game could play is having stances. So you've got like you can pull out the sword, but if you pull out the sword and swing it without entering a stance, and entering the stance will be super simple. It'll be like button plus back or like button plus up will be different stances. Okay. If you swing the sword without, the game won't tell you about. It'll tell you how to like draw the sword and swing the sword, and that'll be it for the first fight. And then you'll probably get your ass handed to you. And then later on when you're getting the sword tutorial, it'll be like, oh, you hold the sword like you've never held a sword before. Do this, and then it'll teach you like the input for a stance. And it won't tell you about the input for other stances, but there'll be inputs for other stances, but they'll be super intuitive. So like it's like, oh, hit like button 1 plus left to get like so and so stance, plus backward, I should say. And then if you hit like that button plus up, it gives you a different stance. Now we're not talking about Fable, we're talking about the game I want to make. We're talking about a game that doesn't exist. And then if you're like in a stance, that affects what options you have. So like, there'll be like some like stance where you're holding the sword a certain way, or maybe where you can flip the sword around, or maybe you've got a stance where you've got a bunch of like non-lethal stuff. Like you've got like a fucking foot stomp and a hilt bash and stuff like that, attacks that aren't as good but don't hurt the opponent, versus like a stance with all the slashes. Um, what's this animation style? This is rotoscoping, the one on the screen, which is also what I would like want for my game. They took like people doing stuff and drew like pictures over it. So I want it to be a little bit of a beginner's trap, but I also want it to be like, this stance, and then these buttons will give you your basic attacks, but then you can find another stance yourself, and you can try those same buttons in the different stance, and you'll get different attacks, and the game will never teach you how to use them. You've got to just experiment against various enemies. This is a skeleton, and I want to say right now that I want 2 enemies in my game. I want human enemies, and I want zombie enemies. And I want it so the game doesn't really track if you're using lethal kills on zombie enemies because they're already dead law. But if you're using, like, I want you to be able to use lethal even on a non-lethal playthrough on some zombies, and I want the zombies to work differently. I want the zombies to have super strength but no weapons. This game is supposed to be, it'll be pretty easy, I think. I don't want it to be like a super difficult game, but there will be a boss that will be like, he'll be supposed to beat you every time you fight him. He'll be an optional boss 4 times during the game, and Or rather, he's a mandatory boss, but if you lose, the game still progresses. Um, and I want you to be able to beat him, and I want the game to change if you beat him. I mean, I don't want it to be like I want it to be pretty simple in terms of like, okay, you can just walk forward and swing your sword, and you can kill some enemies. But then every new enemy will have like something like there'll be a lot of strategies you can use, and new enemies will be immune to certain every now and then there'll be an enemy who's immune to so and so strategy. It'll be like, oh, if you just like wait for the opponent to attack and then parry and counter, like the enemy will never attack first for like some particular enemy. Um, there's like I don't know. I don't want it to be like super complex. I want it to be like basic button presses, and I want it to be like, figure out what you can do with this. I want the attacks to be like fairly self-explanatory. I probably won't do it based on like what the player's doing. That sounds really hard. I'll probably just make it so and so enemy is immune to so and so attack. They'll have like a unique thing. And the thing is, I want it so that if like you see the enemy do something that counters what you have, you'll know that you can do that to counter if an enemy does it. Something like that. Oh, there'll be literally someone in the game who can bring the dead back to life. That's actually like part of the story I've got. Um, but the zombies won't have swords. They'll just have super strength. And okay, so I mentioned a sword, okay, and a dagger. And the dagger is like an optional item that you can like, it's like an Easter egg item. It's like a new game plus item. It's just like if you want more to the game, there'll be like an entirely separate weapon with entirely separate controls. But you can go the entire game without even fighting the dagger, let alone using it. Um, but the dagger will be like pretty early in the game, so you can use it the whole playthrough if you want to. But the dagger will always be lethal. If you like kill someone with the dagger, it'll just be a death. And if you want to have a death, but I want the dagger to be busted if you know how to use it. I want it to initially like make the player suffer for their lack of range. Like they've just got to get closer to an enemy to actually get a hit or something. But then like there'll be like a I've considered like a command to throw the dagger. And it's like if you want to throw the dagger, you've got to be a very specific distance away or something like that in order for the dagger to land point first at the opponent. But if it lands point first on the opponent, it's like an instant kill. And it's just like you can use that to tease like almost every fight in the game. Just throw your dagger as soon as you see someone. But the reason I say throwing a dagger specifically is because I want there to also be unarmed combat. But the unarmed combat I want to be pretty simple. I want it to be like uh, I don't know. I'm not super fluid on the unarmed combat. I want you to be able to disarm enemies and enemies to be able to disarm you. And if it's like sword versus unarmed, it's horrible, but it's not unwinnable. Like if you have no sword and your opponent has a sword, you can come back, but like you have to do something fancy. And if you disarm the opponent, it's basically a free win. You can just easily use any of your like non-lethal attacks. Um, Maybe I'll have like a difficulty slider or something like that. Difficulty choice at the beginning of the game, Libra mode. That's not a bad idea. But I want people to play it on like a moderate difficulty. But I guess the people who will play whatever they want to play, right? If someone wants to do it, if someone likes the game, they'll do it again. I want it to have a lot of replay value. I don't want it to be a super long game. I want it to have like 10 levels. Okay. I want it to be a game you can sit down and play in like an hour. And I don't want it to be like, I want it to be like, I want to have a lot of replay value. I guess that's all I want to say. Oh, but I want unarmed combat, and I want you to be able to I want you to be able to disarm your opponent to be able to disarm you. And if you, of course, throw your dagger and the dagger doesn't kill the opponent, it will just bounce off their face or like land next to them or some bullshit like that. Whoa, a gift. Nidhogg. Now I own it. I was gonna buy this, so I might just gift you a game, actually, Joe. What was I gonna say? Shit. Um, One thing I was considering for the unarmed combat is I want a blade catch, and I want like if the opponent swings a sword at you and you hit like a button on the same frame that you would take damage, you catch the blade between your hands. And if you catch the blade between your hands and then immediately hit backwards or something like that, it will immediately disarm the opponent. Like it's like an instant disarm. So like that, for example, would be really cool as a way that like it could be hard if you lose your sword, but you can still like come back. But that would be like an extreme example. And like a blade catch would like be super good against like almost any enemy in the game, like regardless of what skill level. Can you play as the Groom in later playthroughs? No promises. No promises. Probably not. The Groom won't actually know how to use a sword. That's something I've already decided, and it's actually crucial to the plot. And then I want some secret commands. Like, I want the guy who beats you, he'll, like, salute in a couple encounters with him, like the third and fourth encounter, and I want there to be a command to salute. And if I have, like, achievements in the game, I want, like, to give you an achievement for, like, oh, you, like, saluted back at him. You get an achievement for that. He salutes you, you salute him. Like a, what do you call it? A fencing salute, where you, like, fucking lift the sword to your head. Um, and I want the sword combat to be based around swinging and parrying. It'll be like swing at various limbs or like parry from various directions. It'll be like 3 directions to parry and 3 directions to swing. Okay, fairly simple. And then I want the unarmed combat to be about dodging. Okay, and then if you can get close enough to the opponent while dodging, you can maybe grab their weapon and pull it away, or like, you know, something like that. Oh yeah, kill a fat man. I want there to be a distinct gameplay difference between whether you have what weapon you're equipping versus if you're not equipping a weapon. And I think there'll be a part in the game where you'll have your weapons taken away from you, and you'll just have to play like the non-equipped. Shadow, no! Oh, he just fell. What else do I have here? Um, I want the game to have like no health bar. I want it to be like you die in like 1 or 2 hits. Attacks will either kill you or they won't do any lasting damage. They'll just stun you for like a little bit. And like your attacks will either instantly kill the opponent or stun them for a little bit. I want lethal to make the game really fast but very precise. Like if you're playing trying to kill every enemy, you'll kill every single enemy in the entire game in like 1 or 2 swings. I want to react. I want a game that has like no chance components to it, in a perfect world. Um, yeah, I know it sounds a lot like Nidhogg, right? But I actually had a lot of these ideas before Nidhogg, but Nidhogg seems to do that. I don't know how Nidhogg actually works. So like, um, it depends on what all I can. This is where he punches him like through the sword, isn't it? Kenshiro's actually such a badass. He just doesn't care. He's still spinning the sword while getting punched in the face. This is like the stupidest fucking show slash whatever. I want a parry system. That's my goal. And I think that like waiting for an attack, parrying, and reposting would be like the main way to like cheese the system of the game. I want it to be like, you know, parrying. Um, let's see here. Anyway, I want most enemies to die in like 1 or 2 hits, and I want you to die in like 1 or 2 hits. Probably one hit kills. So I want like checkpoints over the course of the game. I want it so if you're fighting if the opponent has no weapon, if you're in a situation where you and the opponent have no weapon, um, I will actually try Nidhogg, but not just yet. Um, if the opponent does like things, I want it to be a bunch of hits leading to a knockout or a fucking whatever, a KO. Um, if it's unarmed, I want it to be like, you know, like I don't know if necessarily wrestling will be in the game, but maybe like a punch into like a headlock or something like that. I want it to be like slow and with a lot of encounters that eventually lead to someone winning. But I want the sword combat to be like super quick and decisive. It's like if someone gets cut, they're dead. Um, let me see. I have like a bunch of things here. Oh, he made it. Oh, if you lose your weapon, if you get disarmed, I want it to be so that you can use your dodges to get back to where your sword is. Like if the guy grabs your sword, if the guy like hits your sword behind you, you can like go back to it and pick it up. But like turning around will be dangerous. Yeah, like Bushido Blade is a decent example. But like or like if the opponent grabs your sword and throws it behind him, you've got to like use your unarmed combat and dodges to like get behind him and then get your sword, something like that. And maybe there'll be some secret commands to pick up the sword, like you can roll over the sword and pick it up as you're rolling. It'd be kind of cool. Not many, like 4 or 5 endings, which is already quite a lot, I guess. But like it would just be like a few decisions at a few key moments in the game. It's like fucking you're supposed to lose here, but if you win here, you get an ending. And then like, you know, like 2 or 3 endings for like how you've played the game up until that point, whether you've been like lethal up until that point or non-lethal up until that point. But the game wouldn't pull like a morality shit on you. It would just be like, it would just be how the characters regard you. Well, maybe it would pull a morality shit on you. We'll have to wait and see. I like the idea of like secret attacks that the player can figure out, or like attacks that it's like the game like tells you that they exist, maybe, or not. Maybe not even that it tells you that they exist, but that you can find them very easily by like just experimenting with the control scheme. And then if you find the secret attacks, you can experiment with them to find out their uses. And there will be characters in the game who will like use them correctly. So if you die against those characters, like you'll see the uses of those moves, and you'll learn how you're supposed to use them. I want like the combat to be the same with all characters. Um, what else? Um, okay, I talked about everything in the. I don't want randomness. I wrote that here. I was like, no randomness, 100% skill. I don't know about platforming. I wanna like evolve the platforming of Prince of Persia, but I don't know what's missing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this is just kind of good as is. More variety of traps would be kind of cool. So like a blade traps from Prince of Persia 2 that you have to crawl under would be kind of cool. No fighting game motions in the game. I don't think it'll just be like direction plus button. I don't wanna hide anything like that secret. I want people to be able to find it just by hitting buttons. I don't want like I don't want to have like a quarter circle anywhere. Stealth. Yeah, that's something I was thinking about. In Prince of Persia 6, Two Thrones. In Prince of Persia Two Thrones, there's a large stealth component of the game. Oh, that guy got brutaled. And it would be kind of cool to have. Oh, you can just run through this. This fucking man being all careful and shit. It would be kind of cool to have a stealth component where it's like if you sneak up on an enemy, you get an easy knockout or an easy kill. I was thinking about that. I don't remember if I wrote it down. No, I wrote it down, baby. Sneak up on enemy equals easy kill, easy knockout, slash kill. I want it to be if you knock someone out, you can choose to kill them. So like they'll be like finishers. Like you can get someone like down like on their knees, like clutching their arm or something like that, and you can like do like an execution. I want it to be kind of grody. This game is kind of grody. If you like get spike trapped or like cut in half by one of these things, the fucking saw blades, you get a pretty brutal death. I want a game that does that. I want a game where you can like get kind of like murked by the traps or the opponents. I want the enemies to use executions on you, if you know what I mean. I want it so you get executed. I want to see some nice grody animations. I don't know how easy that'll be for me to animate though, or I don't know if I'll be doing the animations. Yeah, Heart of Darkness. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. That's like what I want in general. I want you to get stabbed all the way through if you like die to an enemy. I want them to be like fucking sword goes through you, comes out the other side. Or like I want like an enemy to be able to like fucking grab you around the fucking shoulders and fucking pull their sword across your neck or some shit like that. And the zombies, dude, I want the zombies to be able to like pull out your ribcage. I want it to be fucking nasty. I want you to fucking dread getting killed by a zombie. But the zombies you'll have to like zone. It'll be like kill them. The zombies. The trick with the zombies is that human opponents, you'll have your non-lethal attacks, which will glance the opponents, and then the glancing sets up for like follow-up hits. So they'll basically be combos in the game. It's like if you have like a fucking foot stomp, it leads to a fucking face punch, and the face punch knocks the opponent out. Something like that. Okay. If you have something like that, the person when they get their foot stomped on, they'll like fucking grab their leg. They'll be like, oh, like that. And it'll set them up for a follow-up hit. A zombie, you step on its foot, like nothing will happen. It'll just keep on going. Okay? It'll be like permanent super armor on the zombies. They won't react to pain. So that'll be like their gimmick, but they have like super short range compared to other enemies. They won't have swords. They won't know how to use weapons. I was thinking I want the entire game to take place in a cathedral. And I want, look at that, grody. Grody as fuck. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. It's like too low poly to really be that gross, but the metaphor is there. Something nasty just happened to that guy. That guy got cut in half. I want the entire game to take place in a cathedral. I think I want the setting to be fictional. I want it to be either like a semi-fictional France or a semi-fictional Spain, but I'm not really sure yet. I want like a not quite France or a not quite Spain. And and I want the entire game to take place in a single cathedral. I want the game to start with you climbing the cathedral from the outside where the wedding is taking place. I want the game to I want you to get thwarted. I want you to like climb down to the first floor where the fucking everyone is. So the game starts with you climbing from like the top of the cathedral to the like first floor of the cathedral, and then there's a moment halfway through the game where you're caught and thrown in a dungeon, and then you're going from the dungeon of the cathedral, which it has a dungeon. Shut up. You're going from the dungeon of the cathedral to uh, the top again, and I want that. I want it so that you start the game and you end the game uh, in the zombies based on number of kills. That's a cool idea. I'm not gonna write that off because that's actually an insanely cool idea, but I didn't plan anything like that. There will be no voice acting, and I probably won't do any like silly quirks with the text. Is he gonna push that guy down the hole? I don't even do that, or maybe I do. Yes, that's definitely gonna happen. Apocalypse. That's how I planned it. Is the stuff that's actually skillful is the non-lethal stuff. If you just want to like stab the opponent, it's just literally like move and swing and parry, and that's all. Bro, that's the wrong way. Try again. Um, what else? Oh, I want the game to start and end in the same place. I like bookends. Yeah, I tried to say that earlier. I want it so if you're going for lethal and you're good at it, well, not even if you're good at it, as long as you understand it, like the fights are over super super quickly. Like it only takes one touch to win. Like it always takes one touch for the opponent to win. But if you're playing lethal, it only takes one touch for you to win. That's an interesting idea. That's not bad at all. That's kind of cool how that's all working out. Fewer killed enemies equals fewer zombies you have to fight. That's like not that's cool. I'll think about that. I think I want like some way. I think I want the ability to attack the opponent's sword arm, their legs, or like their body. And then only you can only attack their head if they're like um if they're like if it's a point where you can do like an execution. If they're like, reeling or something like that. So I want like three basic directions that you can swing your sword. And, depending on the situation, they'll be good or bad. I have some notes for myself on how many buttons I want to do it, and how to actually configure it. I'm not super clear on that. What else do I have here? Oh, I had some notes on wrestling and how wrestling would work if both players are unarmed. No, the zombies, in my head, the zombies are not resurrected characters you killed. The zombies are just people who were buried in the cathedral. Buried is a bit strong. Evil or good character choices, yes. You would be able to be... The character would be more of a... The character that you play would be more of a dickhead if you did extremely villainous things at every opportunity. Or maybe not more of a dickhead, but more like singular-minded. More like, um, apathetic, I guess. Oh, yeah? I want some secret places in various parts in the story that you can visit too. I want it so like, the levels are like moderately linear, but you can find some offbeat directions. Probably not animation changes. I don't know. That's like a good idea, but it's probably like more. It's probably more than I want to do. But I'd need to play around with that. That'd be kind of cool if you looked more like a dickhead. But more executions equals like more dickhead just talking. That'd be like okay and fairly easy to do. I don't think there's gonna be that much mechanic bloat. I can think of a way that this can all be done with like three buttons and like just direction plus button. Like sword swing plus direction will give you a leg swing, an arm swing, and a fucking body swing. Okay, there you go. That's your three swings, and then like a parry button plus direction will give you like a parry this way, that way, or this way, and that's like fucking your sword stance. And then if you swap stance to like dagger, all of those will do different things. If you swap stance to unarmed, all of those will do different things. Will the game have voice mumble? like 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 that? That sort of thing? I've still got a lot to talk about. I could talk about the story. I don't have it like super ironed in. It'll be really hilarious if I end up making this game and like people are watching this video like 5 years down the line and be like, hey, that's the game. The game will probably not have voice mumble. But I do like games that have that. My man is actually fighting this guard. He wants to execute him. He wants to put him in the fucking blade trap. No, he's just going in for the kill. Look at this parry and reposting. Super simple in this game. So, like, maybe 4 stances, okay? You got sword out, but all of your attacks are non-lethal. Like, you've got, like, your foot stomp and your shield bash or whatever. Sword out, but all of your attacks are, like, you know, lethal. You got your swings and your parries. So you got your non-lethal attacks with your, like, fucking sword bash and non-lethal swings. You got your lethal with your fucking sword swings and your parries. You have parries on both of them. And then you've got like a dagger stance, or maybe, I don't know. I think stance and weapon would be like 2 different things. So you've got, like, let's say your weapons are sword, but you're equipping it the wrong way, so it's got the blade on the inside, or like the outside, whatever, reverse blade. Animation canceling, probably not. Probably not. But there will be like combos that'll be like, let's say this is how I kind of approximately want it to work. I want it to be like, you do, uh, you do an attack. Like, let's say you do a foot stomp. I don't know what the actual non-lethal like reeling attacks are going to be, but let's say you do a foot stomp, and the opponent like fucking grabs their leg or something like that, doubles forward, and then you can do a stance change to fucking, I don't know, non-lethal sword and get a guaranteed free hit based on their reeling with like a fucking swipe. Okay, something like that. Yeah, literal stance switch combos, but it's not going to be super complex. It's just going to be like button, and then a different button plus direction, and then another button plus direction. So it's going to be like very short little sequences. It'll be like let's say it'll be approximately like, let's say, Ryu crouch jab, stand strong, low forward. You know what I mean? It'll be like that. It'll just be like a couple buttons in a couple directions. So it'll be like super super intuitive. And the opponents will do it. They'll like do like so X attack into Y attack, and you'll be like, oh well, you know, those are different stances, and like you'll see. They'll probably only be like 10 levels. This game has 12 levels. The game we're watching right now. This fucking prince just got to like level 12 while I was talking about this. This is not a super long game. This could be me playing through this. I could play through this game while talking about it. I really like the idea of a boss you're supposed to lose to, and then you can win against the boss, and that changes the outcome of the game and the dialogue. Excuse me. I really like the idea of a game where you can play lethal for an easy like win, or you can like play non-lethal if you want to, like 100% up to the player's discretion, and it makes the game harder. But you get like you can pat yourself on the back. You can be like, oh yeah, I'm the cool guy who fucking beat the entire game non-lethal. In fact, if I have achievements in the game, I would almost certainly have an achievement for not bothering to pick up the sword and only using the dagger, not bothering to pick up the dagger and only using the sword, and an achievement for not picking up the sword or the dagger and having to unarmed combat your way through every single fight in the game. And I want that to be possible. I want it to not even be that hard to unarmed combat your way through the entire game. I want it to only be hard in the sense that you've got to do a more precise thing. Yes, every boss. Well, the thing is, like, better bosses will get better at like parrying you, or like defend themselves better against the one-hit KOs. But yes, I want like every encounter to be like 1 or 2 touches to kill, including like boss fights. Might be alright. I've got a lot of ironing out to do for the combat. No, don't kill him, Prince. Don't kill him. Put your sword away. Put your sword away. Ah, oh, thank God. I don't know about equipment. I wasn't thinking about equipment for any part of the game. Something like you just pull out like a fucking slightly shorter stick and that's your fucking dagger. It'd be nice if the character held the dagger differently. If like the sword was held like front ways and the dagger was held like back ways. They would probably... I don't know. I haven't thought about blocking. I was only thinking about parrying. Adding blocking and a grab would actually be a super, super cool little thing. But, you know, how do you really block against... I feel like there could be blocking in the same... Like, if you, like, have your sword a certain way. The way... I guess I didn't really envision any sort of timing to a parry. I want it to be like if the... Well, I kind of did, but I didn't. Oh, Jafar. I kind of like I thought if the opponent swings at you from this way, and if you're holding this kind of parry, then the attack will glance off you. And then you can hit a button to get like a repost from that. It'd be kind of cool if there was different kinds of clothing for like, you know, like something harmless. It's like you come across some clothes and like the player can choose to swap. That might be alright. I wouldn't mind finding game components to it. That would actually be a super good system in a game with one-touch kills. To have it so you can like... I want it so that you can be put into a disadvantageous position without like losing. I want the opponent to have plus frames, if you will. Or you to be able to get them. But I don't want like mix-ups per se. I want every attack to be counterable on reaction as you see it. So is there like a training mode for Nidhogg? I'm going to boot this up right now. I have a lot more notes based on the storyline of the game because most of the notes I made are for events that I want to happen in the game. Yeah, I played the Super Nintendo version. It has a lot more bosses, and also there's a lot of bosses that don't have swords. There's like other kinds of bosses in the game. Nidhogg install. This game has almost exactly... I want the graphics to be better than Nidhogg, but it's got like exactly the kind of presentation I want. Again, I said I want a blade catch. I don't want to rip off Nidhogg. I think Nidhogg doesn't have stances, right? I know you can hold your sword at different heights, and I know there's like unarmed combat plus sword combat. But that's like where I want the similarities to end. Alright, I'm booting up Nidhogg. I wonder if it's going to open... Okay, it's like already tiny. Add window capture Nidhogg. Boom. It's tiny. Look how small. Whoa. Configure control sounds good. AD. Okay, so we got west. We got F. We got jump. That's super, super, super simple. So F is my... G is my jump and F is my attack. Don't plus start me. There we go. How to play, good enough. Hold left or right to run. Press attack while unarmed to punch. Yeah, I win. Sure, move hard. Yeah. Press jump to jump. This is kind of loud. Is it loud for you guys? I'm gonna turn it down. I'll worry about control in a minute. Where was I? Attack in the air to perform a dive kick. So there's ducking. I like this a lot. I like the rolling too. I might steal the rolling. But I think the combat's going to be a lot more stiff in my game. I don't think I want it to be like... this fluid. I don't want a nice fluid game. I want a slow, methodical game. This is like very much. This is not too far away from what I wanted though. I like the idea of unarmed combat. Got him. That's my sweep, and I can tumble. So you can roll over a sword to pick it up. I like this tapping versus running. I might steal that too. I don't want to steal that much! Fucker! Maybe I'll just be locked. Moving up or down into a sword will disarm. So like that. That disarms. Oh. There we go, yeah. Up and attack to throw your sword. So you can jump to get over a sword. That's fun, how you hold it over your head. Yeah. That's fairly straightforward. I guess I'll do like one level. Defeat all opponents. Oh lord, it's happening. Oh fuck. My man fucking disarmed me. Oh. Ah. Whoa! Got owned. Where's me? MLG. Whoa! I didn't even see him. Why does he get so much ground compared to what I get? Yeah. This game is too hard for me. Shit. How do I not die? Your worst. Damn. I'm actually getting owned. Sweet. How come he always disarms? How do I disarm? I don't get it. Oh shit. Dive kick is strong. I died. I'm gonna lose. I'm like super lost. Oh. Oh fuck. I'm done. GG. That must be the Nidhogg. So if I stab, I can just be disarmed. Whoa. Whoa. I killed him. My lord. Oh shit. Nice. Parried. Reposted. GG. Oh fuck. Got it. Mastered. You can suicide? How do I suicide? Whoa. Game fooled me. Got him. Debated. This is pretty. Oh shit. Zoning. I'm gaining ground. Ah! Zoning. Oh fuck. Run away! Damn. Whoa! Oh shit. Oh fuck, he saw. This guy's the best. I don't know how I'm supposed to beat this guy. Shit, don't need it. Oh, he's got that right away. Not the best idea. Also not the best idea. Damn, he's got all his ground back. I'm fucked. This is okay. I got the right away. I got the right away. I should have picked up any of those swords. Where's my dive keg? Oh shit, he's got it. Got him. Oh shit. Scary. This game is tight. Yun. Oh yeah. A squirrel. Can I kill it? First kill matters a lot, huh? Get the sword. Oh shit, he died. Woo! 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 Oh, he chased me. That man is fast. Whoa, it's a roof. Whoa. Careful there, dog. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh shit, never mind. Pulled his heart out. Fuck, he got me the same way. I'm taking him with me. That kick's too strong. Try and catch me, bitch. Oh shit. He snuck one by. Whew. Oh. Oh shit. Didn't release space. Gotcha. Rush down. RTSD. Oh shit. That went so far. Gotcha. Oh shit. stolen. This man's smart. Wait, come back. Fuck. I don't know what I'm doing. Damn, he's too strong for me. Ah! He went straight for the kill. Die, you bitch. Oh, fuck. Alright, holding it up. That can help me against people who jump. Oh, I'm getting fucked. Yeah. It's too slow. Nice. I'm fucked. This guy's too good for me. Oh shit. What am I supposed to do? Boom! I'm invincible right now. I'm still invincible. Do your worst, bitch. Not sure how to do anything about that, other than let him down. Oh fuck. That was all me. He was the one who was invincible. Fuck. I'm getting owned by this guy. This guy's way too strong for me. Shit, I don't want to land on him. Whew. Snuck by. I should have anti-aired. Wait, no, I have the right of way. Oh shit, can't see. Damn it. He's got the high ground, dude. What do I even do about that? Look, what do I do? Not actually sure. Why do you do that? You'll regret that for the rest of your life. Ah! Ah! Oh shit. If he gets to this screen, I'm done. What can he actually do? Oh fuck. I thought I had my sword up. I don't understand how you're supposed to attack through, like, over holes if someone's got their sword up. MLG. Oh shit. Oh shit. I thought that was... I looked at the chat. Raised my sword into his body. This is fine. Oh fuck. Not like this. No. Oh fuck. Wait, this is fine. Turned it round. Oh shit, he's so fast. My main reacts so quickly. I actually don't understand. Being on the other side of a hole seems like a huge fucking advantage. Whoa. Went over that one. I like this dude's strategy of like, as soon as you disarm him, he immediately jumps. Pew! Should have picked that up. Damn. What's he doing? Whoa. Easy. Whoa. Got him. Tripped. Don't need it. Come back, kid. Is that because I got pushed back to his end screen and then still won? Not bad, not bad. Alright, this game is fun. I think I've seen everything I need to see. I'll probably play it against someone pretty soon. But for now, that's good enough. I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna go. I think I want to catch a nap. And by nap, I mean sleep.